Darklight is what happens when Warhammer Quest, Dark Souls, and Diablo sit around the fire and try to outgrim each other, until Dante shows up at the party and say, "Oh my beers, welcome to Darklight." Hello and welcome to the second video of Gnomia's Vault, my Kickstarter series. I'm still trying to nail these head-talking videos. I feel very awkward, which is the reason why I mainly do playthrough. I'm working on my environment, and one thing that you will notice is my eyes are all over the place. I still have to figure out how to talk to you and take a pic of my notes at the same time. I'm gonna work on it. Let's talk about Darklight, Memento Mori. I've been really looking forward to this one. And if you follow and like my HeroQuest playthrough, I'm sure you will like it too. Let me show you the box. The main box contains all the elements of the game, tiles, cards, and the box with the miniatures. The exploration pack contains more monsters and expansions in terms of cards and events that can affect your exploration. It is an optional expansion, same as this other box, the boss pack, which contains the big boss of every group of enemies. Absolutely worth, but not necessary, as the basic game has placeholder tokens to represent them. And the Adventurers pack containing 4 more heroes. But I'm not gonna go in the details of everything that is in the box in this video because we are a bit late for that. Darklight Memento Mori is a massive dungeon crawler launched on Kickstarter, I think in 2021. So correct me if I'm wrong. And it became quickly the favorite game in my shelves. I had the pleasure to meet Mauro Pane, the designer of Darklight Memento Mori, before his Kickstarter time. We worked briefly together several years ago, and since then I've been following his Kickstarter. After Darklight was out, I moved from former colleague, I guess, to fan to really obsessed Darklight cheerleader. Although there is not much to cheer for. This game is brutal, visually, mechanically, and thematically. The influence of the Big Workshop Classic is pretty obvious in style and mechanic, although the mood and the unforgiveness comes more from the video gaming world, I guess. Players of Dark Souls, Diablo, The Darkest Dungeon perhaps, will find this game unsettlingly familiar. It leans at time a bit hard into body horror. Some of the monsters definitely have a bit of a twisted and not so safe for work design. Perhaps this may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me it's an extraordinary artistic and authentic gritty choice that I can't help associating with the divine comedy literatures and Dante's description of punishments and tortures in his Inferno. Look at that. That's impressive. So I had all these minis for quite a while now. I still have to paint them. I'll show a bit more in a moment. And also, I want to show you again the cover because, I mean, look at that. Does it remind you of something? I think even if it's in a square shape, it does remind us of a grittier, grimmer version of the hero quest of Les Edward. I think it's a very cool grim homage to that art. Let's stay on the miniatures for a bit because they are gorgeous. Look at that. I'm just I'm not gonna take all the minis, but I want to show you just for size and scale what we have here. So I'm gonna show you the heroes. This is the only one that I have painted. I'll show you here in details. I think it came out pretty cool. That is the only one I've done so far. So I have a long way to go. And there are some bigger ones. This is a big guy. I've just primed it so far. But yeah, imagine this being the standard, not the standard, it's bigger than the standard. Like the standard D&D miniatures is the 28 millimeter. It's a 32 millimeter, which some may complain because it's slightly bigger than the size that you have at the D&D table if you want to use them. But for painters, it's great. They look amazing. And look a size of the hero compared with the big boss. It's incredible. It's incredible. So the miniatures are gorgeous. And by gorgeous, I mean terrifying. And the monsters are stunning, like display level stunning. That's another one of the big bosses. And this is like a mini boss. They're huge, and they are going to be a pleasure to paint whenever I get to that. Let's talk about the board system. In Darklight, you have these beautiful doors. There are several types. There are some that are haunted. Also, this is a normal door. This is a ghostly door. It was probably another name. I don't remember it now. This is a portcullis. So there are a few different ones. This is thick cardboard, very, very, it doesn't bend at all. So it's a very durable material, while the holder for the doors are in plastic. With this system, it's so much easier to keep things tidy at the table, and if you want to move the game around, you don't make a mess. I believe this system is used in other games, probably in Warhammer game. I played just Cursed City, which has just little tiles that you put in place of a door, and everything moves around. So if I want to shift the game, it's just a mess. So I hadn't seen this system before. It works amazing and it looks amazing, and the style of the base of the door actually merge beautifully with the art of the tiles. It will merge even better if I painted it. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. And I never had the problem with the plastic ruining the tiles. Again, the quality is so good. In terms of gameplay, I won't explain the whole game. It's a bit beyond the point of this video, but it's an OGM game. So entirely procedurally generated dungeon. The game runs itself. You roll, you draw, you suffer, you die. Darklight is not a player-pleasing game. It's old school, it's unforgiving, it's a survival-based design. It's hard, it's really hard, and I love it. Any modern game, it's really rare that the old party dies, and in Darklight, it's really rare that the party makes it to the end. Some say it's unbalanced because of that, and the community has come up with some house rules and tweaks also to the character sheets. Personally, I like my dungeon crawlers hard and unforgiving, and if I never die, I stop trusting the game. Darklight kills me and kills me often, and I respect it for that. The scariest part is actually not the quest, not the monsters. Well, they are super scary, but that's not the most difficult part. But they are the journeys between quests. And these journeys are deadly. If we were to make something a little easier, I could get on board with simplify the journey. But at the same time, it's a lesson, and it's again a survival game. So if you are like me, when you play this game the first time and you embark for a journey, you will die immediately. Because I want to do everything. I want to say yes to everything. I'm a completionist in video games and in board games in general. But with Darklight, you can't afford that. You can't say yes at level 1 to everything. Be realistic. Just pick your fight very carefully, or pick no fight at the beginning, and just trying to be a little more daring when you are a bit further in the leveling. And to be honest, if you follow this rule, you're gonna make it. So let's talk about the characters. I showed you briefly one or two. One thing that I love about these games is that the characters are very different. First of all, they're not the classic heroes. They're anti-heroes. They are called Accursed. The heroes in Darklight are called Accursed. They can level up and get different skills, so you can come up with multiple paths and builds, so they are gonna always feel very distinct. I played several times, even the same character, and it ends up feeling very different. So combine that with the procedural generation of the map and the adventure, and the high difficulty, the replayability of this game is really massive. Let me show you just the heroes. We have the courtesan. This is part of the expansion pack. She's a duelist, and she's very good with various weapons and inspiring the other characters. And then we have the blood witch, so one of the magic powered characters, and so she casts spells, so she can be pretty dangerous. They can backfire, and she's pretty hard to keep alive, but she's also one of the one of the characters with healing capabilities. This is the Necromancer, is the best looking character in my opinion. Look at that, the souls and the undead being called to life. Looks amazing. And this, I can't wait to paint it. And it's one of my favorite. Is a summoner, so classic necromancer summoner can summon undead creatures. This is the outcast. His speciality is long range, his range weapon. He's also a demon. She actually thinks she does particularly well in darkness. That's the Black Knight. So your classic tank. The Revenant is an assassin and he is undead. So when he died, doesn't lose souls because can get the Dark Souls reference. When you kill monsters in this game, you gain souls for your kills, and the souls become experience, or it can become either money. So losing souls, it takes you back. And then we have the Nephilim, a giant barbarian that fights without armor, massive, and he is also slightly OP compared to the other heroes. One of the tweaks of the community was nerfing a little this guy, but if you're not touching the game and making it simpler and you're playing with this guy, especially if you're playing solo, keep it that way. It is. I promise you're not gonna feel like you're cheating the game. I show you this guy is the Exorcist. The Exorcist has also a playing mechanic so different from other. He has, as opposed to the spells, like the Blood Witch has the spells, Necromancer can use spells. The Exorcist has miracles, and he has also always an offensive miracle, a defensive miracle, and a healing miracle. So talking about replayability, there is also a full campaign in the game. Let me show you. So that's the quest book. The first part of the book is a set of randomly generated standalone quests. And the second part of the book is a whole campaign. It's quite a big campaign. I had this game for a while, started to replay now, but I used to play it every weekend. You will have plenty to play and it will feel always different. And my longest run was reaching level 6 and still not finishing the campaign. But if you decide, for example, to play with some homebrews that make it a little easier, or simply if you're more skilled and more strategic than me and you manage to go longer, you can keep playing after this campaign because there is a continuation of the campaign that has been created by the fan base with the support of Mauro. So it's as official as it can get once the Kickstarter is finished. So there is plenty of material. And speaking about the community, I've now mentioned the community a few times, and hopefully this video will reach some people in the community of Darklight as well. So let me give it a proper segment. The community is amazing. They've created rebalanced version of the characters, new expansion, new cards for treasure and equipment, a second campaign, as I said, plenty of house rules. The designer is in the group, of course, and overviews all the changes and has given plenty of blessing to all the various changes. You can feel the love and you can reach them and find this community as a Facebook group. I will link it below in the description. What can I say that's not so great? It's hard because I really love this game, but I need to admit that the real book, that's it, this one, that's a downside. It's not so great, and I'm not talking about the rules themselves. I like the game, but the way the book is organized is very messy. There is lots of important information in image captions or in remote corner of the book or in a section that was actually far from the main section that was talking about that specific topic. And there is no, let me check, no, definitely. So there's no index, which is normally my go-to place when I have to remember something. There are very good reference tables for spell consequences or death scars, let's say. I find very useful the turn reference card. There is lots packed in that because every turn there's lots of things that happen. But I think that one is, the reminder cards are very well done. but the book is messy and I had to read it a few times to have the confidence that I was playing the game the way it was meant to be played. Now, you may ask, after all of this, where can you get this game? And I have some bad news and good news about that. The bad news is that unfortunately it's out of stock in the official Darklight games shop. It's been a while since the Kickstarter and the game has never gone in retail. If you're lucky and if you really, really want the game, you may find some copies on eBay, but don't expect it to find it cheap. This is lots of plastic and at the time for an exceptional price and great quality cardboard. So the whole game is top notch and you will see reflected in the price. The good news is that Mauro Pane, the name behind the Darklight games, is still working on board game designing. Is not continuing for now Darklight, but is working on a new game to launch on Kickstarter soon. The name is Animarium. I will put the link in the description below. And if things go well and it become financially viable, he would be open to a reprint of Darklight. Bear in mind, we are talking about a single brilliantly talented guy. This is not a big company. This is a very small reality. And it's very impressive what he managed to do and the level of quality that this game reached. To wrap this up, I've been thinking about animating maybe a one-off in Darklight. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you may want to have a look at my HeroQuest playthroughs. So I could try, and it would be a huge effort, I know already, to animate one adventure in my stop motion style. If you are curious or just you want to see how it plays or just want the fun of see the animation and the story that I can build. But I will do it only if people want it because of course it takes lots of time. It takes time away from my other series. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to tell you 6 locations and I want you to pick one of the locations and give me one number from 1 to 6. The most mentioned location combined with the most mentioned number will give our one shot with Darklight Memento Mori. I take also feedback on this format. As I said, I'm very uncomfortable in talking to the camera. It's so much easier to hide behind the board of HeroQuest, but I will try to get there. So feel free to give me feedback on this one as well. And tell me, generally, if you like this series, if you want me to continue, or if you think that this is a bit of a waste of time and it just takes time away from content that you really like, that are the playthroughs. So let me know. And that brings me to the end. I hope this was interesting. I know it's been quite a while, but you may still find it and it may still come. Also, Animarium is going to come out soon, and that is a hell of a reference. So feel free to support Mauro, and I know I will be in that Kickstarter. Maybe one day we'll make it to this channel. Thank you again for watching, and meet you soon in one of my tiny adventure. Bye bye.